actually knew author P.J. Harzma, and he's an author for sci-fi series for young adults, and it's called the Softwire series. And he was going around to schools and putting on a presentation for his books, as authors do. And what he was encountering was many, many schools that had no funding for any books at all, no new books for kids. And as it kept happening and kept happening, it got very disturbing for him, this problem. And so he went back home and thought about it. So he approached me and asked if I would assist in putting his plan into action, his vision. And I said, yes, let's do it. Of course, I didn't know at the time how bad the problem was. In my mind, I was going, you know, but this is the United States. How bad can this problem be? And I have really learned, the past 2.5 years have been very eye-opening in a very bad way. It's pretty disgusting. I'm amazed at how pathetic the state of our schools is. It's just deplorable. The #1 priority of elementary schools in this country is to create competent readers out of every child that walks through their doors. If you think about the juvenile delinquency system, 85% of the kids in the juvenile delinquency system are functionally illiterate. Why are there so many? 60% of your prison system are illiterate. These are the adults that are starting from the juveniles and adults. If you want to solve the societal problems in this country, you will start by making sure you put a heavy, heavy focus on this problem, which is illiteracy. I actually was told about a school in Arizona, and I plan to go visit. It's a high school. It's called Westview High School, and they require their students to spend 10 minutes every hour reading a book. So for every class, from class to class, they have to spend 10 minutes. I suppose it's the first 10 minutes of that class reading. Their test scores are supposed to be through the roof, and on everything, because literacy breeds intelligence. So it's not just about reading. If you're literate, usually you're developing your brain, and you can be successful on many different levels. Their library is like the hub of the school. That's how a library should be, not a dead thing. It should be alive, new books. Look at these new books. These are exciting books. They should make it a living, almost like a living being, and make the kids excited. It's what you have to do. I met P.J. Harzma through a project I was doing with a group of people. I had an association on the internet. It was all internet-based, friends. And we were doing various little projects for fun and for kindness. We were just picking things that we wanted to help people do. It was all about being kind and not getting anything in return. That was the whole principle. You couldn't tell people you were doing these things for them, and we just did it. And we were fans of a television show called Firefly. It's a defunct show that has a cult following. So we were fans of that, and the star of that was Nathan Fillion, which is, as I said, P.J. Harzma's great friend. And they had recorded, Nathan had recorded the first 3 chapters of P.J. Harzma's book, the Softwire series. And well, the first one, which is Virus on Orbis 1, there's several books in the series. And he had done this so that to try and get the publisher to finish the audio book. So we saw this, we heard it, and we liked it. We loved, actually, the reading. It was really very, very good. And we said, okay, let's take this project on. Let's bombard the publisher with letters and try to get them to finish the book. So we did that. We were writing and writing. We had all these people writing. It was really fun. And so as time went, I said, well, we don't have any way of gauging the success we're having. So I wrote to P.J. Harzma, and I I asked him, I said, we're doing this little, of course our deal was we weren't supposed to tell people what we were doing, but I had to get a gauge on whether we were having an effect. So I said, well, I thought he would think we were completely crazy. But I wrote him and I said, we're doing this little thing, we're writing to your publisher. And of course he was pretty intrigued by that, and he did contact the publisher and found out that they were wondering why they were getting all these letters. They were like, where are all these letters coming from? I did this project with these friends, and I call them friends more than fans because we connected through our enjoyment of the show, but we became friends, and it became about more than that, more than the television show. And I just wanted to experiment. The idea for me really was I had given a lot to raising my children. I had really poured my whole heart into raising my children. It was the focus of my life. And then my children, of course, grew up and moved out.
They tend to do that.
They tend to leave you after a while. And I didn't actually have any empty nest syndrome or anything like that. I was very happy for them that they were able to move out and be contributing members of society. Loved it. Was very proud of them. And but I needed something, and I thought, you know, I think of myself as a giving person, but really I've only given to my family. What is it like to give to people that you're giving and not really getting? What is that like? I've never done that. You read in books these great stories of people who give to other people, and not just their family, not just their friends, but strangers even. And they're not having any expectation of any kind of reward. They just are good people. They're doing something because their heart is telling them to do it. And yes, my heart was always telling me to do these things for my children, my husband, you know, but that's not pure giving. You're doing that out of love, and you're not necessarily getting something in return, but you are. It's kind of different than doing it for a stranger. You're invested in those people, and you're not invested in a stranger. You don't have the same emotional investment. So I'm thinking, what is driving people to do this? They have to be getting something in a way. So it's never really totally selfless in a way, which is what I think I've discovered. Because when you do it, you're doing it and you're giving to them, and you're not getting necessarily anything in return, not even a thank you. And that was the idea. What's it like? And not even receive, not even a thank you or anything. What does that feel like? Well, it feels really good. It feels great. I learned that. It's really great. It's almost more fulfilling to do it and not get a thanks. But you're still getting something. You're getting a good feeling. There's still a reward in that you feel good about what you're doing. So the reward is, to me, there is always a reward, or you're not going to do something. And but it can be something as simple as that makes me feel good to be nice to another human being. And the thing is, too, one thing I have always abhorred is disrespect. It's the thing I despise most. It's the character trait I despise most in another human being. And the character trait I admire the most is kindness. And I've kind of actually learned these two things through these projects, through doing things for within this group of friends, and then as it developed into Kids Need to Read.